2,304 kilograms per hectare. In Nigeria, is 1,501. So we need those things. The government needs to invest in those things, actual investments. I mean, if Chamberlain, if government invests in JVs with oil majors and earn revenues from it, why wouldn't they invest in agricultural products?
But isn't that where, because only recently, the recent visit inflation figures came out for this last quarter, and it would seem that one of the areas that is doing well is the agricultural sector. Some people say that it's because the agricultural sector has enjoyed some form of funding from the federal government, and it will look like there is some investment in that area as we speak.
Well, when you mean doing well, I don't understand what the government means by doing well. Take a commodity, a staple food like rice, for instance. According to this government, when you read the Green Alternative document, which is a wonderful document, I've read it because it's a continuum and a follow-up from the agriculture transformation agenda of the last government. They say rice, our annual consumption of rice is put at 6.3 million metric tons. Nigeria only produces 2.3 million metric tons, which I even doubt. I don't think it's up to that. And you restrict importation.
Why do you doubt that? Why do you doubt that? Because only recently we've seen that, Kebbi State is becoming self-sufficient in rice production. We've seen a host of other states beginning to, I think only recently we heard Anambra State is even keen into the program. Yes. A lot of states are very keen on the CBN Anchor Boras program. And, this thing is a single digit.
How many hectares of land you need to cultivate to get 6.3 million metric tons?
Have you been round to see that, they don't have that many hectares?
You see, in economics, you can brandish statistics and all of that to make an argument and build models. But I tell you what, when you say inflation is at, what is it now? 18.3%. It's an average, it's a mean across board. The increase in rice is over 100%. There are some fast-moving consumer commodities that's over 100%. So I think in making the argument, government should stop all these punchlines and unnecessary rhetorics. There's a shortfall in food supply. And the situation was even worsening when they restricted imports. When you restrict imports and the supply is not adequate, what happens to price? It goes up. It's not 16 years of PDP. No, it's bad policies of this government. What I mean is, government should focus on fixing the fundamentals of the economy, production base. Everything we should be doing, especially now that we're in a recession, should be geared towards production.
This is at a time when we are also beginning to hear that our grains are in high demand by other countries, and they're coming in to come and take our grains in. I think it was just last week you heard that warning that we could go into a famine if we do not do something about it. I mean, you didn't hear that?
I was appalled. I was livid. How can the government say that? It's ludicrous. How can the government, what do they want you and I to do as private citizens? We should go to the border and stretch our arms and say these goods should not pass? Come on, Maokwe. I think it's ludicrous. I think they should, a German agency put it at 35% of informal activities in Nigeria. What government should be doing instead of Garba Shehu crying helter-skelter, what government should do is try to move that sector into the formal sector to be covered by government regulation, government taxes. We should get revenue from those taxes. It's export. It's not something that we should cry about that is family. That market isn't talking about. It's one of the largest grain market in Africa. There's a volume, they put it at 400 million naira activity daily in that market. People across, so what government should do is to formalize it, pull them into the formal sector. Instead of complaining and bickering, they said effective leadership is about preferring solutions and not identifying the problem.
The reason why I bring that up is when you talk about government policies on agriculture and how it is we're not doing the best we can. But if our grains are in high demand and people are able to get as much as 15 trucks per day, and are taken out of this country, then there are big questions as to what exactly we're doing to ensure that we are fed first before we begin to feed other nations. But that's on the one hand. I mean, that's talking about agriculture. On the second hand, because you're talking about government policies, one of the things people always talk about is government liberalizing certain areas of the economy to ensure that there's private sector participation. Are there any other areas where you look to see government liberalizing, taking its hands off, or reducing its influence, as it were, so that the private sector can participate a bit more?
Well, I think there are different areas. It depends on the kind of model that you want to follow. There are different areas that this thing. At the risk of trying to preempt this government, they told us that they could do it. And in this 16 months after, and the 16 months into and we're already in a recession. Do you know the effects of 5 quarters of negative growth? It's going to take us a long while of good macroeconomic policies, fiscal policies, monetary policies. Put those policies together in a cocktail, if you like, because we're in a recession. When a recession, inflation is going up. So while the monetary policies, policy managers are trying to manage inflation, the fiscal side of it, they are trying to spend us out of the recession. I think that in answering your question directly, even though it will amount to giving them expo because they said they could do it, there's a few things that government needs to do with regards to engaging the Nigerian citizens into making them more productive. One, I think the ease of doing business is not just a punchline. Do you know how difficult it is, Mark, to start up a business for startups? It's very difficult. And when you want to even export, and so the thing in management of an economy, Mark, there are so many indices. There's no silver bullet. There's no unique causal. No. It's different variables. Like, for instance, those people producing rice in Abakaliki, if it is organic rice, and a country like Botswana likes to consume